if there are any attacks, let's make sure the attacks are on the arguments rather than the persons, as the debaters tonight have been gracious with their time that they've given to us. So tag me either at Donny or at Standing for Truth. And again, let me know who the question is for, Planet Peterson or Dr. Kent Hovind here. Okay, Eric, we are going to hand it over to you now. And again, you have up to 10 minutes for an opening statement. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. So countless times I've seen Kent ask questions that he believes pose a challenge to evolution. Why this? Why that? So let's say that hypothetically, Kent asks a question that somebody does not have an answer for. What is Kent's answer going to be? If it is a how question, how did something happen, this, that, or the other, Kent's answer will be God did it. It's not how God did it. It's just the claim that God did it. If it's a why question, Kent will say the same sort of thing, because God did it. That's not an answer or even an attempt to make an argument. It's simply a conclusion given in desperation. So I promise that tonight, Kent will not give a single answer or reason or explanation for anything that we discuss. Kent will only give us his conclusions. Hopefully, at a few turns, if Kent's honest, he will at least say, I don't know. But the problem is the God hypothesis is fundamentally useless, which is the alternative explanation to evolution by natural selection and therefore common descent, which is the topic of our debate tonight. The God hypothesis can't answer any questions. And we know this because a God, the type of God Kent believes in, could have done literally anything. It has supposed unlimited abilities. So did God create the world billions of years ago? That's absolutely a possibility. God could have done that. What about only 6,000 years ago? God could certainly have done that as well. God could have created the whole world an hour before this debate began. Kent thinks that the Bible proves that the answer is 6,000 years and that evolution doesn't take place and every organism was created pretty much as we see them today. But that's just question begging. According to Kent, Genesis is literal, the genealogies are reliable, and the beginning of everything goes back 6,000 years. If that's true, then there must be evidence, but there is zero evidence. For example, we can see billions of light years. That's really all you need to establish that that claim is false. So it's over right there. Kent will say something like, if God created a mature atom, then he can create a mature looking universe. But that's not an explanation, it's a conclusion. If there was a way to date the universe, and the universe is 6,000 years old, then the only acceptable answer is 6,000 years. But since that's not what happened, now what we have to do is invent from nothingness the claim that God just did it that way and created a very young universe that is billions of light years across. And there's no evidence for that. It's just that Kent has to say that because that's the only way to preserve the conclusion that he already had. It's not an explanation. It's not an argument. It's not predicated on evidence. It's just an assertion. Now, I said all of that, but I don't want this topic is not about, the age of the universe or anything like that. I only draw out that example as a way to explain the problem that we have here. So tonight, I hope that we only talk about biological evolution from this point on. I just give that example to illustrate the fallacy in Kent's reasoning. So at no point tonight do I believe that Kent will use data to support what he believes in, apart from claiming that frogs give birth to frogs, as if that disproves evolution, which it does not. At no point will Kent be able to give an explanation for how or why God did anything. So it's just literally useless, whereas evolution has made successful predictions and has passed every single test that's ever come up. And we even use evolution or the concepts, the principles of evolution today to do things like groundbreaking medical research. So it's incredibly useful and important. A lot of science, such as gravitational waves, is pretty much incomprehensible to almost everybody, but it's only flat earthers that say stuff like it's fake. Kent has no problem with much of science, maybe even most science, but he claims evolution isn't science. It is. It's just that he has to say that because the evidence is overwhelming. Evolution, genetics, paleontology, geology, these fields all operate in accordance with the exact same scientific method that any of you watching, myself, or Kent, we all take for granted all the time. Like, I don't even know how a microwave or a computer or a cell phone works, but I don't go around assuming that it's magic or claiming that it's fake or anything like that. Kent will call these things religions, which is just it's almost too stupid to even deserve a response. But what I will say is that these fields of science, they make zero appeals to the supernatural. So not only are they not religions, but they by definition can't be religions ever. And then the final real quick point is that Kent actually believes in evolution and Kent believes in natural selection. Because Kent believes that thousands of years ago, an event that wiped out almost all life on Earth happened. And then today, all of the species we see today, which were not present on that ark, are the result of evolution and natural selection. Now, we disagree about how far it goes, and today we will be going over the evidence. I'm sure in Kent's cross-examinations, he'll be asking questions where that evidence will be relevant and get brought up. But for now, that's where things stand. That's my opening statement.
All right. Thank you very much, Eric.
Okay. On our current classification system, 2024, there are still disputes about how plants and animals should be classified. It doesn't matter.
20 seconds left.
They know what kind they are, and they seek to mate with their own kind. They don't care how we group them. Our cows show no interest in mating with the sheep or donkeys or squirrels. They don't even know what they look like, but they know what to look for in a mate. So on planet Peterson, we have no rules, boys and girls. You can do what you want, be what you want. You can be a boy one day and a girl the next, or even explore all 57 genders. You can even have fun mating with your dog if you want. There are no rules. This is planet Peterson we're talking about tonight. All right, go for it.
All right, Kent, thank you for that 10-minute cross-examination, 20 minutes each. And so, Eric, we're going to hand it over to you. I'll restart the timer. And again, we are into a couple rounds of cross-examination. So, Eric, kick us off. Go ahead.
Yeah, before I do that, the moral grandstanding at the end there. So tax cheats, wife beaters, and people that let convicted child molesters share a cabin with 11-year-old boys at their park don't get more.
Ad hominem. I knew he'd do that, Don. He can't do anything else. Go ahead.
Okay, Eric and Kent, you both got your points in there. So let's now get right into cross-exam on the topic of common descent. Go ahead.